Hey YouTube, this is Jeremy with Simple Little Life, and I want to just, we're going to start a new series, a mini-series if you will, on the channel about RV living. I hadn't planned on doing this. This channel's, I'd like to move in the direction more of homesteading / preparedness / survival, although I haven't talked at all about preparedness or survival. But one thing in our process, like we didn't have the financial situation where we could build our house on land and move from our current house out to that house. So we ended up, we had bought the land. We were fortunate enough to do that. And then I got laid off from my work in March, working in the oil and gas, of course, in Alberta. But I thought, it'd be awesome. I was quite happy it happened. I wasn't happy where I was anyways, but I thought, it'd be totally cool is if we could sell our house and then I'll build and set up our homestead rather than paying a builder and a contractor to do it. So we ended up selling our house in 4 days for more than we'd wanted, and it worked out fantastic. So part of that deal was, okay, people bought the house they want in the house, obviously, so we got to get out. We ended up buying this fifth wheel. It's a 34-foot Pilgrim. It's got 2 pop-outs, nothing crazy. It's a 2009 model. So we bought it used. We got a fairly good deal on it. But anyways, 3 weeks we've been living in here, and you need to do the same things as you did at home, but you have to do them differently. You don't have room for a lot of dishes. We each have a plate. Your clothes, you have to figure out what you actually want for your clothing and take that with you. You don't have room for your whole closet of stuff that you rarely wear. You've got to make sure that what you have with you is what you want. And it's kind of interesting. It's kind of an interesting look at your priorities and figuring out, it's just kind of a neat perspective on things. And then also, we still do the same things. We do laundry, unfortunately, like we have to go to a laundromat and do it, or sometimes we might go to my parents' house. But things like simple things like a vacuum, or there's so many things that we have in our house, and we need to have that stuff here, but it has to be so scaled down. And we've been doing research and trying to find out, as we come up upon like a certain item or a product that we need to do, what's the scaled down version of that that's still a decent quality product. And we found some that we're quite excited about, that we've like, wow, this is fantastic, this is awesome. And then we just kind of want to share those with you on this little series. So that's what it'll be, as RV living. And if we find stuff that we thought would be great and it's just bunk, then we'll share that too. We'll say, you know what, don't waste your time on this. But anyways, that's kind of where this little mini series is going. That's a bit of a long intro, but also kind of a bit of a history into the channel and why we've started to do this channel in the first place. But anyways, probably the first thing that I bought, particular to this whole thing, us homesteading, was a generator. We bought this bare land. It didn't have anything on it. Behind the camera now are some power poles that we had brought in. Unfortunately, they're not hooked up yet. Last Tuesday they put them in, and now we need to make arrangements with our seller, who's actually going to provide us the electricity, and an electrician. Our electrician's on vacation right now, a friend, and hopefully within 2 weeks we can have permanent power. But even so, this is super handy to have when you're working out in the field, you're fixing fences, you're constructing. I use this all the time on the chicken coop so I can run my big cutoff saws. And I think if you're RVing and you're looking for a decent powered like generator, it's 3,000 watts, so it's not huge, right? It's not like a 9,000 watt generator, but this thing is so quiet and so fuel efficient that if you don't have huge power requirements, I don't think you can beat this. We have a large air conditioner, and this won't quite run it, which is unfortunate. So my dad actually lent us, he has an EF 5000 Honda generator, and it runs it well, but it is loud as stink. I'm pretty sure this entire neighborhood of farms knows when we're running this generator, and that is not the case with this Yamaha. So anyways, quickly look at it. This is a positive review, not super technical. These things typically are something where you're just going to buy it and use it. I'm not going to go over all the features. I honestly don't care if it works for what I need it for. Good. That's, I don't know. That's my take on something. So anyways, 3,000 watt ISEB. EB means extra boost. So this thing will peak to like 3,200 for like 15 seconds. Some air conditioning units, they'll just draw a little bit more in their fire up, And then when they're running, unfortunately, this thing will draw more than this thing can deliver all the time. It's a very large air conditioner. But anyways, for everything else, for a hot water tank, for, you know, the fan, we boil our water in an electric kettle, all that stuff, this works fantastic for. Real quickly, you have basically your on-off. One cool thing with this off, this is the fuel valve. When you turn it off, it'll actually drain your carburetor. And so that, you know, if you're gonna winter the unit, you put it away for extended periods, you don't have to worry about the carburetor getting gummed up from the fuel inside. So we have that, fuel shut off, then we have our ignition. We have off, on, and start, which I'll show you in a minute. Manual choke. When it's cold, this works great. If this thing's been running within an hour, I don't even bother with this, or if it's hot outside, it actually starts better without a choke. This is your economy switch, eco saver, whatever. So you have it on, and basically it will run at the lowest possible engine setting for the demand required. Like if, you know, it'll just go to low idle. If you're not using anything, it'll stay at that low idle, which will make it run for hours and hours on very little fuel. Turn that off, and it's basically full output all the time. Having said that, this thing will get about 9 hours of runtime on a tank, and I'll put a little description in the video notes how big the tank capacity is, because I don't remember off the top of my head, but this thing is awesome. Sometimes I fill it up like once every 3 days, and we do use it quite a bit. Next you have your AC DC. Just turn your AC on for AC power. Sorry, DC power, my apologies. And when you buy this, normally you're supposed to get the charge cable plug for this. Unfortunately, my dealer didn't give it to me. I'm not very impressed with them. I didn't get a manual. I didn't get this cable that I later found out is standard. And just really not impressed where I bought this. I don't know if I should name their names, but their company in Strathmore and their motorsports store. So we'll just kind of put it like that. Anyways, this is a switch. This little breaker does these two outlets, which are standard 110 volt outlets. That's 15 amp circuit. And this one does your RV plug, which this one is a NEMA L5-30. And these plugs are about 30 bucks. And then I just put it on some SO cord and I made my own extension cord for it. But that's that. There's a ground here if you want to ground it. I have tested the low oil feature, the low oil shutdown. I started up one morning and it just shut off. I'm like, what goes on? Started again, shut off again. And so then I actually watched it for about a minute while it was shutting off, and the low oil light did come on. Checked it, and it's like you're braking in any 4-stroke engine. You're gonna burn some oil up. So topped her off and she's been good to go. Very easy to pull. My wife could easily pull this. It's not difficult at all, and it's nice to have that. The thing I love about this, you can also get a remote starter, so a key fob basically, and you just boop, and then it fires up and shuts off as well. The one thing I didn't like about that was it's 575 bucks. And I'm not quite that lazy. I can get up in the morning, come out here. I kind of enjoy it. You know, 5 o'clock in the morning, I want my coffee. I start the generator and I can scope things out, you know, see what the day is going to be like. It's a time to yourself, and I certainly don't mind going outside first thing every morning. And also at the end of every evening, I certainly, you know, I walk out, check out the stars when it's clear. It's nice. But anyways, this thing is super easy. It's just fire it up, let it run, use it all you want, shut it off. And I've got about 250 hours, 300 hours on this thing. And I have to say that I just think this thing is absolutely fantastic. Well-built machine. I don't think you would have any regrets. If you're in the market for a generator for RVing, for off-the-grid living, for a short period of time, even extended period of time, this has a 3-year warranty, including for commercial use. So Yamaha, yes, EF 3000 ISEB, you can't go wrong with this generator. I'm gonna just fire it up for you real quickly and show you how quiet it runs. So that's it running in eco-saver mode with no load. Now if I flick this, you can hear something must be on in the RV, maybe the water tank, and you know, it obviously demanded a little bit more load. If I turn this off, you can hear what the max output RPM sounds like. It's a little louder, still, when you're in the RV, and this is mounted, like this is sitting on the back of our RV, it is not too much to tolerate at all. Hopefully you can hear, you know, me talking over this, but this thing is quiet, and I can't say enough good about it. If you're in the market for a generator for RVing, I would say buy this one. Unless you have a big, huge air conditioner, especially if you have a smaller, say a 24-footer trailer. I believe our air conditioner is like 27,000 BTU, which is pretty big. But if you've got a smaller one, and this thing will do everything you need it to, you would not be dissatisfied with it. So there we go. First little product review, something that we've found that we loved for RV living. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Cheers.